It's about that time of day again. My name is Joseph. Thursday evening, September the 7th. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter. We're covering crude oil, S&P, Nasdaq, gold, and euro tonight. Crude is bullish, but these overlapping reversal lines are telling us that the most reliable buying opportunities will likely be after deep pullbacks on Friday. The S&P is bullish, ahead of a critical contract rollover tomorrow, and a triangle pattern on the chart is telling us exactly where to be looking for those buying opportunities tomorrow. The Nasdaq is bullish, but multiple levels of resistance levels are reminding us the most reliable buying opportunities on Friday will likely be down at prior swings. Gold is bullish and trying to complete a measured move, but big clues in the candlesticks are telling us to look for some deep pullbacks rather than chasing this move higher on Friday. And of course, the euro is bullish, but a short-term trading range around that big round number of 20,000 is telling us to focus on failures down in that battle zone with a target going back up to retest last week's high. Boy, speaking of last week's high, I get a great Friday newsletter, or I guess a Thursday night newsletter, getting ready for Friday's session. We get the end of a short holiday week. We're watching weekly levels. We got some big news tomorrow. We got some contract rollover. And of course, we've got the very, very important topic here tonight, talking about overlapping reversal lines. Tonight we're going to see lots of examples kind of piggybacking on that flat channel strategy we talked about in last night's newsletter. Tonight we're going to keep going on that same topic and talk about reversal lines. Not to worry though, not to worry. I got a great newsletter in store for you guys and gals tonight. Great opportunities setting up for Friday's session. Before we jump in, don't forget the only place to watch the full-length version is on our blog here at sidewaysmarkets.com. If you're watching the video right now on our YouTube channel, it's only a small snippet on the YouTube channel. Not to worry, if you're on YouTube right now, there's a link in the description of that YouTube video. Follow that link, come join me here on the blog at Sideways Markets, and grab the full-length version. While you're here, don't forget, join the mailing list. I'll send you an email every evening when that nightly newsletter goes live. Follow me on social, lower left-hand corner, StockTwits, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever your flavor of choice. Follow me throughout the week for charts, links, and updates. And speaking of charts, how easy is that? All the charts from tonight's video, you can have them on your computer for tomorrow. How easy is that? Right where it says click here to download today's charts, have those charts ready on your computer for tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, why don't you grab that free pass? What are you waiting for? You're going to learn more with me on that free pass than you will anywhere else on the interwebs. I can guarantee you that. If you're not a member here at School of Trade, grab that free pass. Come out and join me in the trade room as a guest for a couple days, right, and see what everything's about. Guys and gals, big opportunities setting up for tomorrow. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in. Tomorrow is a Friday session, Friday, September the 8th. And, of course, anytime we talk about a Friday, we always talk about couple different topics here. First of all, tomorrow is a Friday, so early in, early out. Anytime we talk about Friday mornings, right? Friday mornings, early in, early out. The reason why you want to get out of the way early on a Friday morning is because as the day and as the week gets older, traders take bigger risks. Combine that with the decrease in volume that comes into the market on Friday afternoons, increased risk, decreased volume, you get more volatility and bad liquidity. Bottom line is early in, early out on Fridays because traders take bigger risks on Fridays, right? And the volume dries up on Friday after lunchtime. So get at them early. Another thing you want to keep in mind out for tomorrow is the prior week levels. And boy, do we have a bunch of them to take a look at today. Got a lot of those prior week closes are still left open from last week. Remember earlier this week, we talked about those weekend gaps. Remember that holiday weekend we just had? I know it seems like forever ago, right? But we just came out of Labor Day. We had a bunch of weekend gaps. We're going to grab a look at those in just a moment as well. So early in, early out. And then also don't forget those open, high, low, and close levels from last week, right? From last week, as we go into Friday's session, we start looking for those levels to become price magnets. So that's the basic principle here for tomorrow. We also have rollover tomorrow. Well, rollover was scheduled for today, but the volume hadn't rolled over yet. So we're watching rollover on the E-minis tomorrow as well, Nasdaq, and of course the S&P. We'll talk more about that as we get closer to that. And as you can see tomorrow, there really isn't a lot of news on the calendar, right, outside of what I spoke about earlier. Monday was a holiday, so they've kind of crammed a lot of stuff later on, but none of this stuff is really going to move the needle very much. In fact, if you ask my opinion, I think the big news for tomorrow is probably going to happen in a few hours here, right? We get the merchandise trade here at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're watching the overnight Asian session into the early parts of London, right, keep your eyes open for reaction to that 10 p.m. Eastern time, right? Anytime we talk about trade from China, we always know that will definitely move the needle. As of tomorrow, though, no real, major news. If we get the labor force survey from Canada, that might move the needle around on crude tomorrow. The big exporter of crude oil to our friends in the north. But I'm not expecting too much of a reaction to news tomorrow. I would expect a lot of tomorrow is going to be, again, we got rollover on the E-minis, early in, early out, trying to fill those weekend gaps. We'll talk about those in a moment. And we got a big bad hurricane headed to the southeast portion, specifically, right, southeast Florida. And so, there might be some distractions tomorrow. So I think, hopefully we'll get a nice robust amount of volume tomorrow with rollover, with the hurricane. I could easily see tomorrow being, a couple hours into the session, things start really tailing off. So get at it early. Get out of there early. I'm sure the weather is still beautiful where you are, right? September here in Los Angeles is a beautiful time, right, to be outdoors. So get out of there early tomorrow. Enjoy the weekend. Be back on Monday and do it again. So early in, early out. Watch those levels. Watch that contract roll over. Let's do some charts here, shall we? Tonight, I want to talk about a topic, right, that is very, very important to analyzing market sentiment. Last night, we spoke about flat channels, right, how those flat channels could be traded on both sides. If you didn't watch last night's newsletter, make sure you go back and watch last night's newsletter. If you're on the YouTube channel, go to the blog at Sideways Markets and watch the full-length version there, because that will make sure you get the whole enchilada, right, from last night's newsletter. So we're going to piggyback on that topic from last night, because it's very, very obvious here again today. Starting off with crude, we'll go crude, S&P, Nasdaq, gold, and euro tonight. Crude is bullish with a target back to yesterday's high, but the overlapping reversal lines in the chart, combined with an almost flat moving average, are telling us this is not a very strong trend, and to avoid buying high and focus on traps and seller failures below that channel. Now, two things to keep in mind for tomorrow. If things get nutty tomorrow, again, end of the week, we're expecting a little bit of low volume tomorrow. If things get a little bit nutty tomorrow with that low volume, the prior week high is below us at 48.20, and there's a big round number above us at $50 a barrel. So just taking a quick peek here to the downside, there's that prior week high, right? We talk about those prior week levels as we go into Friday. And of course, right, if we keep going up here, 50 is only $1 away, right? On crude oil, $1 is nothing, right? So we could easily find ourselves up around those big round numbers, right, tomorrow morning. Obviously, we have to see more in terms of direction and strength, right? But those will be some big milestones for us tomorrow. The big thing here right now is look at this chop, right? Look at the chop. Up, back, up, back, up, back. Now, what the first thing is that stands out right now is every time we make a new higher high, look what happens. Do we see buyers coming in and buying those highs? We don't. We see buyers taking profit, right? If not sellers, right? Selling up above those highs. You'll notice what I call overlapping reversal lines. Now, first of all, here's what a strong trend looks like. A strong trend will go up, pull back, up, pull back, up, pull back, right? This is a strong trend. And you can tell it's a strong trend. Last night we talked about, right, the slope of the channel, right, 45-degree angle. But let's go one step further. Let's dig under the surface a little bit more. Now look at those prior highs. Every new high the market makes, notice how the pullback is above that high. Notice how that pullback is above. Notice how that pullback is above. Notice how that pullback is above. Now, again, combine this with what we talked about last night, right? 45-degree angle, nice steep channel. What does that tell me? When I see a market with a nice strong channel, right, nice steep channel, we don't have any overlapping, right, no overlapping reversal lines, right? That's what I call them, reversal lines. You'll learn more about these in the intermediate classes here at School of Trade. That tells me the trend is very strong, and there's only one side of the market that can participate. just the buyers. I can buy low, I can buy high, I can buy pretty much anywhere in these environments because all I have to do is hold on and price will likely keep going higher because there's obviously no sellers, right? Sellers can't participate in a market like this. But let's back this up. What if we start seeing this? What if we have a new higher high, we pull all the way back, right? New higher high, pull all the way back. See where I'm going with this? Now we have that flatter that flat channel, but more importantly, look at new higher high, sinks in, new higher high, sinks in. See how that works, right? So see how the overlapping of those reversal lines, and again, right, you can also kind of see this ahead of time. Here comes that flat channel, right? Less than 45-degree angle. So one of the things we talked about last night is every time the market makes a new high, could the sellers sell into that and make money? They could. Every time the market makes a new high, could sellers sell into that and make some money? Absolutely, right? There's enough pullback to allow those bears to participate with the bulls. That's the key topic here tonight on this newsletter. You can see a lot of this tonight with these overlapping, right, choppy markets. So the bottom line is as the market goes higher, I can expect sellers are going to want to sell that high. As the market goes higher, I'm going to expect those sellers to sell that high. That tells me right now I've got to be careful buying high, only buying low tomorrow. So I really got to be patient. I really got to be disciplined, and I'm looking for a nice deep pullback. It's not just the crude. It's all the other markets tonight as well. We'll talk about euro, gold, Nasdaq, and S&P. Those are going to be in the same basket here tonight as well. So moral of the story is we have a almost flat channel, but more importantly, right, those overlapping reversal lines. What's the plan here for tomorrow? Well, we have to assume these buyers, as we talked about in last night's newsletter, they're trying to go back and retest that prior day high, right? Last night's newsletter, we talked about buying that dip in the battle zone. So that's where they're headed, right? They're headed back to that prior day high. We get some measured moves overhead. I don't want to buy into that because, again, we're not seeing evidence that these buyers have a healthy appetite, right, for higher highs. So I'm looking for that two-legged pullback back into that battle zone. I'm watching for failures, right? Deep pullbacks, and you're going to see this across the board here tonight. Looking for traps, looking for failures, looking for traps below prior swings, looking for failures down in that battle zone. I'm looking to get my hands dirty down here, right, with a nice deep pullback. That way I can buy without the fear of competing with those sellers. Obviously, if price keeps going higher here, we'll continue with the same plan. Looking for that nice deep pullback and staying patient not to buy too aggressively here tomorrow. So crude looks great, right? Bull market, bull channel, but those overlapping reversal lines tell us let's get down nice and deep, right? And that may come in a couple different forms here. First of all, we may be able to use this two-legged correction, draw that trend line down overhead. Maybe we see a failure pattern, right? Failure pattern back up, right? Or maybe it's just simply a straight trap, right? Trap, failure, and then go from there. Bottom line is get that deep pullback, right? Even if the price keeps going higher, right? Even if it keeps going higher, make sure you get that nice deep pullback, right? Because again, the clues we're seeing in the chart right now are not giving us very much confidence, right, to keep buying high right now. Stay away from the highs, buy those lows, and how does it turn bearish? What does it take for reversal? Three things, right? Strength, pullback, strength. So in the event that we see that strong move down, they hold the pullback, right? I don't care what direction I trade. And as I say every night in this newsletter, right, I don't care if I'm long or short. All I care about is following the direction of who has control. And if we do see those bears take control, strength, pullback, strength, then we're going to look for that sell up at resistance to finish off that move. Remember what I said earlier, right? If we do take off to the downside here, that prior week high becomes a definite magnet here for price. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, if we get that strength to downside here tomorrow. And of course, if we do end up poking higher here, that big round number at $50 a barrel. We haven't seen much of a reaction to the hurricanes coming to town here over the last week or so. So tomorrow, we're going to keep our eyes open for that. Who knows, right? Who knows? We could definitely see a shift in market sentiment, and this oil price could definitely spike. As of right now, though, be careful here buying high. buy those deep pullbacks. That way you're on the right side of the market and you're doing it the safe way here for tomorrow. Now, speaking of tomorrow, don't forget tomorrow is rollover day. Well, today was rollover day officially, but contract rollover happens when the volume rolls over. So watch that S&P and the Nasdaq for tomorrow, right, for contract rollover. This is the 917 contract right now. There's a good chance, though, tomorrow we're going to be trading on the 1217 on the E-minis, so keep your eyes open tomorrow morning. S&P is bullish, but trading sideways in a triangle, telling us to focus on failures below prior swings or wait for a successful breakout pullback. Learned a ton. Hope you use this information to earn a ton tomorrow. Don't forget though, right? Fridays are not the day to be a hero. Early in, early out with Hurricane Irma and Jose and with all the hurricanes coming, right? We might see a little bit of distraction tomorrow, so keep your eye on the volume, right? Keep an eye on personality. Early in, early out on Friday mornings. Watch contract rollover on the E-minis. And don't forget to keep an eye on those reversal lines that we talked about throughout tonight's newsletter. Oh, and don't forget, before I let you guys go, don't forget, if you want to learn more, there's plenty more to learn. We're just scratching the surface here on this newsletter. If you want to learn all the details, make sure you join our free trial. I'll walk you through setting up your computer, setting up all your charts, getting all the patterns nailed down. You're going to be an expert once you're done with that free trial. And then once in the trial, make sure you join up as a beginner, intermediate, or advanced levels membership, right? Our premier membership, our advanced classes also include, right, an unlimited access to our trade room. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll wrap this week up. My name is Joseph. If I don't see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the trade room, I'll see you guys same time, same place on Monday evening. You guys be well out there. Be nice to each other, will ya? And be here next time. Adios, amigos.